Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about a time that I almost died in real life when I was in Iraq, and I almost died, at least 3 times in Iraq. And I'm gonna talk to you about my craziest time, um, probably most scariest point in my life ever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. So I was a truck driver in Iraq, and we was going on a convoy. It was a really dangerous time in Iraq at the moment, and this was in 2004. This was OIF2. Yeah, we had a huge convoy with us today. It was 2 different companies. A good 100 members from our company, good 100 members from another truck driving company. Plus, we actually had the infantry. I believe it was First ID rolling with us too. Plus all of our gun trucks, and we went, north in Iraq through Mosul. Mosul is a pretty big city in Iraq. About the size of Chicago or Pittsburgh. Not the biggest, but it's definitely a pretty big city. And it was just tight full of people going through there. People, shoulder to shoulder. Could barely get through the streets. There were so many people. It was just packed. And we drove through no problem. We went to our base up north. We did what we had to do. And then on the way back, we started going through Mosul. And a little bit before we got there, I heard AK-47 shots. And after being there a while, you start to notice the difference between an M16, how it sounds, and an AK-47. So I knew right away it was AK-47. Me and my truck driver like, shit, this ain't good. So he's ready for action, and we went through Mosul, and it was like a ghost town. Like I said, on the way up there, it was packed full of people, could barely get through. On the way back, there was nobody, no people anywhere, no cars, just straight ghost town. We knew that that's a dead sign right there. It was bad news. And just to say, there was quite a bit of action. It started off with gunfire, and the gunfire was coming from everywhere. I couldn't really see the enemy, but I just kept shooting at the rooftops. I know they had to be somewhere up there. And I did want to shoot my M16, so it was a good chance for me to shoot it. And I just kept looking everywhere, shooting at the rooftops. And there was a couple IEDs in the road, so that stopped our convoy, and they had to get out of the truck and stuff. And while we were stopped in the convoy, we were just getting shot at, from every which direction. I mean, bullets were like literally like making the pinging noise, just bouncing off our truck. Yeah, I literally thought that was gonna get shot for sure. Like I thought, the thought crossed my mind, like, man, am I about to get shot? Am I about to die right now? It was such a scary feeling. Like I wanted to so bad just drop down to the floor, and just crawl up in a little ball like a little bitch. But I didn't. I stuck it out, kept my M16 out the window, kept firing back as much as I could. So one of the IEDs I mentioned, it was an explosive bomb went off about 2 trucks in front of us, and it was crazy to see that. And we were just stopped there taking so much bullets. It was just such a crazy moment. And we finally got situated. That truck was no good. They got the people out of that truck, put them into another truck. It was a crazy situation itself, while getting shot at. And the craziest thing that actually happened, not only were we getting shot at, but they shot our brake lines. So while we were driving, the driver, like right after we were stopped, they did the truck switch out. He tried to drive, and we just wasn't going anywhere. Our brakes and the truck locked up, like in between the brakes to the trailer. That line, was shot or somehow, got destroyed, got locked up. So we're actually dragging our trailer, like it was just all kinds of smoke was coming, from the brakes, and it was crazy. Like we just had to keep driving, and eventually, we kept driving, and eventually the trailer caught on fire. All that friction between the brakes and everything, like it caught on fire. And so we're rolling down the road, getting shot at with our trailer on fire. It was something else. And eventually, we had to make a decision here what to do. We really didn't want to get out of our truck, but at the same time, our damn trailer is on fire. We had to do something. So my driver, he was an NCO at the time. I was like a private one or private two. He told me to, I'm gonna stop, hurry up, get out, just pull the pin to the trailer. Don't put down the landing legs, don't do none of that. Just pull that pin, hurry up, get back in. I'm gonna take off. So, I quickly, we were out of the firing range a little bit further down the road by now, but I got out as fast as I could, pulled that pin, and got back in the truck. We rolled off and just left the trailer sitting there on fire. So they said on the radio, to just go ahead and drive back to the base that was right there in Mosul. So that's where the convoy headed. And there was this Iraqi guard out there. People were telling me, afterwards that they almost shot him. People were just in such like panic mode. They see, an Iraqi with AK-47. They just automatically wanted to shoot him. But nah, he was a good guy. He was on our side. And we laughed about it afterwards how people almost shot him. So we got back to the base there in Mosul, and people was asking us, "What happened to your trailer?" And we had to just laugh and say, we left it on fire back there, and everybody was checking out our truck, and it was completely, just destroyed, like bullet holes everywhere. And some of the craziest shit was they found a bullet hole in the driver's side mirror, like it shattered the glass, and like the way it was positioned, the only way it would have got there is if it traveled through my window on the passenger side, then traveled through the driver's side window and landed in the mirror. So that means that bullet, went right by both of our heads. Like that's how close I was to getting shot in the head. And that's some crazy shit thinking about, just all the bullets that were all throughout my door. And we just got armored doors just recently. When we first came to Iraq, we didn't have any armored door. It wasn't until midway through Iraq we finally got armored doors, and that shit really saved my life. And it's just crazy thinking about how close bullets were to hit me right in the head. So I am so thankful that I am alive, that I made it through that. It's definitely one of the craziest experiences I ever had in my life. And some of the people in the convoy didn't make it. And it was crazy. The guy that gave the convoy speech before every convoy, there's always a convoy briefing. What's going on right now. And a captain from First ID was giving us the convoy briefing, and he actually didn't make it through that convoy. We actually He was the only person in the convoy to die. A couple of people were shot. One of my good friends, Shaw, she was shot in the shoulder, and she had her vest on. It hit her vest, just bruised her shoulder real bad. A guy from another trucking company, he was shot in the leg. I believe a couple other guys from First ID were injured. Didn't really get too much details on that, but it was definitely crazy. Definitely crazy experience that I was in. And it was a huge event. It did make the news. It made the papers. And me and my friend Shaw, always laughed about how we both had two Purple Hearts. That was actually her second time getting injured, and I already was blown up twice, prior to going on that convoy. But both times getting blown up, getting injured, wasn't nearly as scary as what I went through that day. And it was exciting and scary all at one time. It was just crazy, crazy experience. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my story, time that I almost died. And please help support me, help subscribe to my channel, like this video, go check out some of my other videos, and thanks for watching.